About a month ago today, I sat on the edge of my hospital bed, and I asked myself the simple question, why? I had worked for years to be where I was, a young social activist who co-created 2 successful nonprofit organizations, a good student, an even better friend, and a girl who never lacked positivity nor energy. I asked myself why I had ignored what was going on in my head for so long simply to maintain this reputation. I had already accomplished so much in my life when strange things began happening to me. When even though I was incredibly academically motivated in the past, I couldn't seem to do homework. And I removed myself from friends, and I didn't answer my phone for a week, and I refused to go to school, and getting out of bed in the morning seemed impossible. Now, looking back, I realized that I had to redefine what success was. Because if everything I had done in my life leading up to that point deemed me successful, why was I sitting in the hospital? I realized that my ability to find this new normal, my ability to adapt to this newfound empathy, that's what makes me successful. Being diagnosed with clinical depression is what it took for me to realize what success was. Though I could go on, I'm not here to simply tell you all about my story. I'm here to tell you why I think this is happening, not only to me, but to a dangerous number of teenagers in this country, a statistic that is increasing every year, and why each one of you needs to advocate for programs in schools for teens that are suffering from depression and anxiety. Depression in our society is not obvious when walking down the street or the hallway, but simply open your laptops, your smartphones, your tablets, and do maybe one Google search and you will be blown away. After my one Google search, I found that after a study conducted in this spring, 1.6 million Tumblr blogs were examined, and of those, 200,000 contained pictures, videos, and text posts of teenagers hurting themselves due to depression. Is it because we now have the technology to express an ever-present feeling, or is it something greater? Is it just a coincidence that school systems and standardized tests, they're getting harder, and college acceptance rates are going down, and the pressures to be a stereotypical man or woman are everywhere? Is it possible that this society, is the thing responsible for the increase in a disease that is more than capable of killing? And we don't talk about it much, because it's often deemed a phase, or hormones, or being over-emotional. Oftentimes, conversations regarding mental illnesses such as depression result in words being thrown around that are nearly irrelevant. Depression is not the emotion sadness. Depression is a state of being below neutrality. Sadness is an emotion that comes and goes just as happiness does. My biggest pet peeve is when someone comes up to you and says something along the lines of, "I'm sorry, I was just depressed earlier. I'm so depressed right now." Depression does not just come and go, it's there. And it is the 3rd largest cause of death among teenagers in this country. 4,400 kids commit suicide a year, and for every one of those, at least 100 attempt. So now I'm standing here asking you all the same simple question I asked myself when I was in the hospital. Why? But this time it's why we're not doing more to prevent this. My school has a bridge program for kids that are transitioning in from an extended absence. Many of us have suffered from severe depression and severe anxiety, and many of us say that the program has saved our lives because it puts our mental health first. How can we be expected to be successful in life and go to a good college and have a good career if the pressure is too overwhelming and we don't even finish high school?
There's no antidote to suicide besides you loving you. You're the sum of all the things your life has brought you through, and we need you here, we do. Your presence has no question. You're thinking you should leave here. We're thinking that you mustn't. It's okay to discuss it. Sometimes you have to cry. The people who remove themselves regret the day they die, for there's no chance to fix tomorrow if tomorrow isn't here. They think of how they're needed right before they disappear. And I remember all my darker days I thought to take me down. I even wrote the letter that they'd find when I was found. I often fantasize my funeral, the sounds of disbelief. Cars with flashing hazard lights parading through the streets, but I felt better keeping me because I ran into my purpose. I saved me to let you know that keeping you is worth it. I've seen funerals of coworkers that I had once befriended. They went and punched the time clock way before their shift had ended, left their children and their friends, their parents and their wives, left them all with all these questions spilling rivers from their eyes. Among us are those people who have secretly been hurting. We never know until they go and hang themselves like curtains. The saddest of the draperies, a curtain shouldn't frown. We wonder why they did it when we go to pull them down. I'm awfully glad I stayed around because I see that I was meant. My mama tells me all the time that I was heaven sent, that she was feeling spent and she was feeling low, and she would talk to God like,
I'm about to let this go so you can have this back. I need this life no more, and you don't have to send for me. I'll meet you at your door.
But she decided not, and she fought through it all, and that is one more life that we don't have to see recalled. And I remained as well, and that has made me grow. I share with folks my life, and they've been calling this a show. Now she sits on that row, and I stand on this stage, and everything we are is 'cause we made the choice to stay. So stay.